Learning language. Now let's come to this point. Learning language can be challenging. How? Why? Because there is no environment. As I mentioned earlier that people don't speak English. We try to speak English with people, they just speak for 2-3 minutes and then they switch back to their mother tongue, and it's very natural for them because they feel easy there. And you will be instructing people. For example, if I'm instructor, so I instruct my students to follow some grammatical structures. I instruct them to use certain verbs. I instruct them not to make certain mistakes. So this is called molding. Molding means that I want the person to speak how I want him or her to speak. So this is called molding. So we're actually compelled to do this. It's our compulsion. We don't have any other option left. There will be pauses, and when a person learns a language, so he must be confused. So what is the solution? The solution is very easy. In our language academies, there is teaching. Your teaching shouldn't be your top priority, okay? For example, if I have an academy, so teaching shouldn't be my top priority, because when I am teaching a language, so what happens, I am consciously teaching a language and then my students understand that language, but there is no environment. So your top priority should be creating an environment. If you are an English language instructor, so I guess 20% should be teaching and 80% you should make an environment. When you make an environment for your students, so then they will automatically learn a language, learn English I mean, and when they automatically learn English, so you are actually creating a kind of acquisition, which is very difficult, but still I do in my academy that I don't instruct too much. If someone is making mistakes, just like a small child is making a mistake, so we enjoy. We want him or her to repeat what he or she said. So same should be the case in English. If someone is speaking wrong English, we should appreciate him or her and allow, don't instruct too much. Yeah, there will come a time when you will instruct because he or she will go for interviews, because he or she will go to the society. So you have to correct certain mistakes and you have to instruct him or her not to make some mistakes, but you should allow. So when you allow the students, no problem, it is not our own language, we will be making mistakes, no problem, no issues. But when you allow nature environment, for example in your academy there is environment and everyone is speaking English, you don't need to teach. There will come a time when you won't need to teach. For example, I taught for 5 days, 10 days, and then I gave 20 days for practicing environment, practicing environment creating, so then my students will learn English with no problem at all and they'll be very fluent speaker of English. But what we do, we use too many teaching techniques in language. Remember, English language teachers aren't there. There are English language instructor. Instructor means that we just need to guide the person. This is how you will go, but we don't go with that person. Now teaching is something else and instructing is something else, because we are giving a skill to our students. So when we are giving a skill, so we don't need to teach, we need to instruct, and then they'll find their own way. So the solution is that we should create environment. Creating an environment should be the top priority of English language instructor. Thanks a lot. So that's what we had here today. See you next time.